I ask, well, what is going to happen to those people that we can't re-educate, that are die-hard capitalists? And the reply was that they'd have to be eliminated. And when I pursued this further, they estimated that they would have to eliminate 25 million people in these re-education centers. And when I say eliminate, I mean kill 25 million people.
Let that sink in. This is an FBI agent who infiltrated the Weather Underground and Bill Ayers, Bernardine Dohrn. They're still saying the same thing. But let me give you again the words of Van Jones. Drop the radical pose for the radical ends. If you've got somebody, and you're the man, if you've got somebody now who's going to say you don't have a right to privacy in your email, you don't have a right to privacy of location, if you're funding a terrorist organization, not defined. Remember, they don't believe in terrorist. We're not fighting a war on terror. So why are they now pushing for, if you are funding a terrorist organization, you can be held without due process? You don't believe in any of these terrorist organizations, and you are against Guantanamo. Why would you do that? Let it sink in a bit.
I want you to imagine sitting in a room with 25 people, most of which have graduate degrees from Columbia and other well-known educational centers, and hear them figuring out the logistics for the elimination of 25 million people. And they were dead serious.
Back in a minute. Please share this episode with your friends. Please DVR this show so you don't miss any of it. If you just joined us, we were talking about a group in the United States. We had a group here whose goal it was to eliminate 10% of the U.S. population. Why? Because that's what anarchist, Marxist, communist, revolutionaries, Maoists do. They have to do it to be able to gain control. But when they first came up with these ideas, it was just a small group, incapable of pulling off the overthrow of the United States government, right? They couldn't do it. In the 1960s, they couldn't do it because the family was together, because our government, even run by this guy, wasn't as corrupt as it is now. And they were radicals. They've changed the radical pose. And they've put themselves in power, and they've made you the radical. Now they can. Now they can. A secret FBI report in 1976 noted that the Weather Underground was receiving aid from Cuba, technical assistance from North Korea. In other words, this was a situation that had the potential to become far, far worse, with people like Bill Ayers, who was okay with killing 10% of the people. The point is to expose these people. We're not this stupid. Americans are not this stupid. We just don't want to believe. You have to look at the truth before this thing becomes something out of our control. I'm not saying, and I want to make this clear, good heavens. You know, I have to tell you something. It's shows like this tonight that make me go home, and when I go to bed and I say my prayers, I say, Lord, what else do you want me to do? What else could I possibly say? What other video? What else could I do to get people to wake up? Please help people wake up. I'm not saying that you and I are going to, meet each other next week in a concentration camp in southern Utah. I am saying that there are elements with connections with government officials that have positions in the government now. This guy is writing books on, this is a comic book by Bill Ayers. Okay? How to teach our children. You want these people? These are the people who have actually been willing to and tried to accomplish it in the past. Let me show you again what they said about, this is an FBI agent who infiltrated the Weather Underground. This is him in 1981. Please listen to this.
I ask, well, what is going to happen to those people that we can't re-educate, that are die-hard capitalists? And the reply was that they'd have to be eliminated. And when I pursued this further, they estimated that they would have to eliminate 25 million people in these re-education centers. And when I say eliminate, I mean kill 25 million people.
These are the same people that are everywhere in our government and our education system. Please, please, learn from history. Please. Throughout this program tonight, we've been exposing revolutionaries, and they are there. Van Jones this week said that this is a turning point for the progressive movement. It is, I fear. If you go on to America's Future Now, the website, you will see this article. Progressives, time to go off the reservation. It says, quote, history suggests that progressive movements must organize independently of democratic administrations to effect change. We must be off the reservation as labor was under Roosevelt. Do your history. Labor wasn't disconnected under Roosevelt. It only appeared to be. The civil rights movement was under Johnson. President Johnson wanted the Reverend Martin Luther King to shut down the demonstrations, saying that they would make reform impossible. But with an independent movement, even King could not do that. Instead, he went to Selma, and the resulting confrontation led directly to the passage of the Voting Rights Act. America, these guys joined with these guys. The politicians joined with the revolutionaries so they could gain power. Now it is time to break apart, because the summer of rage is about to begin. They're going to dress as Martin Luther King. They will hold hands and sing songs. They will accept the pose, but know exactly who they are. They're revolutionaries. They can say and dress and act any way they want. You know who you are. You must become Martin Luther King and the people that marched for equal rights.
I'm told that tens of thousands of prayer meetings are being held on this day. And for that, I'm deeply grateful. We are a nation under God, and I believe God intended for us to be free. It would be fitting and good, I think, if on each inaugural day in future years, it should be declared a day of prayer.